Hi, I'm Ellie, and I've been coaching debating for over 5 years now. I've coached teams to the finals of ISDA, PDC, Archdale, and High Seas. And I've also, personally, as a debater, reached the semi-finals of the World Universities Debating Championships. In high school, I represented New South Wales at the National Schools Debating Championships. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can improve your rebuttal by giving 3 quick tips for complex rebuttal. Okay, let's get started. So the first tip for complex rebuttal is to think strategically. What does that actually mean? Well, there are many possible responses that you can use in a debate. There are many ways to explain why your opponents are wrong. And thinking strategically is just about prioritizing the routes of responding to an argument that are most likely to lead you to victory. So what we're doing is we're starting off by identifying weak points in our opponent's case, but we're trying to use those strategically. So for example, we want to look at the debate as a whole and think about how arguments fit together. Is there a point where if you respond to that, that substantially weakens the rest of your opponent's case? Or is there perhaps a point that you can prove which takes out a lot of points, just indirectly responding to them? So we're going to think about the debate as a whole and think about how different arguments fit in together. And then the other thing that we want to think about is which ideas are going to be viewed as important by an adjudicator. So it makes a lot of sense strategically to spend your valuable speaking time on the ideas which are most likely to be determinative in the debate, the outcomes which are most likely to win or lose the debate. So how do we actually do this? I think that there are 3 main ways that we can think strategically in debating. Firstly, we're going to step into the adjudicator's shoes. So I want you to try and imagine how the adjudicator will view each argument and think through what the main issues in the debate could be. So you can even imagine an adjudicator giving an oral adjudication. They usually pick out 3 or maybe 2 key issues in the debate. You can also do that, and you can think about which ideas are likely to be the things that that adjudicator remembers when the debate has concluded. Secondly, we're going to prioritize our material accordingly. So if you think that a particular idea is very high impact or is principally important or is otherwise likely to come into how the adjudicator makes their decision, you should boost that material's priority in your speech. And that means, for example, spending more time on it, spending more time responding to your opposition when they're dealing with that issue, and broadly dedicating most of your kind of reasoning power to winning over those ideas that you think are going to be debate winning. And thirdly, it's really helpful to show you're working here. And what I mean by that is you should really clearly signpost to the adjudicator what you're doing. You should tell them, we think this idea is one of the most important ideas in the debate. And if we win it, we think we will be substantially ahead. Similarly, if you've done a really successful response to something that you think is a major claim in your opposition's case, you can say something like, because I've clearly responded to this idea from our opposition, these other points which are contingent on it cannot stand. So by showing you're working and signposting your strategy in the debate, you could really help the adjudicator to think through how all of these ideas logically link together and where that strategically gets you in the debate. So let's quickly look at an example. This is an example from the debate that we support the rise of content generating AI, artificial intelligence. So that's kind of robots and computers that can create things like academic papers, or they can write books. In general, they can generate language. So Affirmative makes the claim, we believe that content generating AI is good because it's more efficient. It's able to produce huge volumes of work. It's able to read academic papers and things far quicker than any human ever could. And that efficiency has got to be a good thing. If we were thinking strategically about this claim, we could see that there might be 2 key strategies we have in responding to it. Firstly, we could just disagree with it. We could say, well, artificial intelligence actually isn't that efficient. It's often error prone. It can often be biased because of data sets that might be skewed. And it actually, might require quite a lot of human labor to make sure that the results of that AI are reliable and are trustworthy. And that response obviously does attack the claim. It does suggest that they are not that efficient. But I think it could be more successful to agree with the claim that AI is perhaps more efficient at generating content, but suggest that that outcome is a bad one. So you could say something like, well, even if it is the case that content generating AI is super efficient, we think that that's terrible because they would replace huge tracts of jobs, everything from authors to copywriters to journalists to academics and so forth. And those people's lives would be substantially worse. Efficiency for its own sake is not necessarily something that we should support. And I think you can see how that response might be strategically more successful because it means that this kind of micro debate about how efficient AI is becomes less important than the overall debate, which we might think we're more likely to win, as to whether that efficiency is likely to be funneled in socially useful and socially beneficial ways. So by thinking through how we want to win that debate and which outcomes we should care about, that can make this debate substantially easier for us.